The Horrible Gamers podcast may contain content not suitable for all ages. Listener discretion is advised.
World premiere.
Welcome, everybody, to the Horrible Gamers podcast, episode number 320. I am your host, GunnyChief, and with me today from the great state of Ohio, home of the Buccaneers, I always forget, Buckeyes, the Buckeyes. Mayo, what's going on, Mayo?
Hey, what's up, Gunny? How you doing?
Hey, doing pretty good. It's a little smoky out here in the great state of California. We still got fires going on, but I don't think there's a lot of risk to many homes as it is just up in the mountains, but man, still just so much smoke and people are staying indoors as much as possible. Yeah, other than that, doing good, and went to the house over in Hidden Valley up there, and everybody was allowed to go back and had a great time at the lake Sunday, so it was a good weekend. Very nice. Good weekend. What about you?
I've been kind of just on the run. I've been running everywhere and working and being like Jesus, we're kind of missing him again tonight, but, just working a lot. Kroger's keeping us busy right now.
Yeah, they sure are. I'll tell you, I deliver to all the independent grocery stores, so not so much like a Kroger or a Safeway. I do everything but them. And yeah, they are like super extra busy. And yeah, that's what I'll be doing starting tomorrow. But folks, go check us out on Twitter. We have a Twitter account @_Horrible Gamers on the Twitter machines, and leave us a review over on iTunes. That's the Apple Store, the great Apple Store, iTunes. You can leave reviews over there. And we also have a Facebook group called Horrible Gamers Podcast Community. Type those in, people. Just go to facebook.com/groups/Horrible Gamers. And Patreons, people. I do not have the Patreon list. Jesus has that locked down that's a secret. But I can tell you what, I logged in today, and there are 18 members, so I want to thank all 18. I can remember like 9 of them, so I'm half, but I don't want to name 9 and go, I don't know about the other 9, but no, thank you to all 18. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Patreons. It means a lot to us. We have Stitcher. Stitcher Premium. So if you go to Stitcher Premium, you get a free month. And I believe that's if you use the Horrible Gamers, all caps. You can apply that and listen to premium shows over at Stitcher. If you're already on Stitcher, that's cool. It's a good app. It's a good podcast app.
Yeah, 1 month of free premium access there for you. And there's no space in there either, so there's just Horrible Gamers, all caps.
And they are always adding new shows on there. Some of it interests me, some of it doesn't. I think the latest one now is what is it called? It's all about Tiger Woods. So it's the All-American Tiger Woods. It's a reporter who follows Tiger around all day. Lucky him. Yeah, they're always refreshing. Stitcher does a good job at that. And Redbubble, redbubble.com. That's where you can find all of our nice gear, like our mugs, shirts. You can go buy a shirt. And a clock with all 3 of our mugs on them. I like the clock. It is so cool. But yeah, we have other things. Cool looking clock. We have throw pillows. We've got acrylic blocks. Those could be used as weapons, folks. Just put those near the door, so when you have intruders, these blocks will take somebody out. I'm telling you, they're heavy. And yeah, we have art, board, prints, posters, stickers, you name it. We have it. But go get yourself a t-shirt. And our intro song is done by Fowler and Twist X. Breakout, folks. So thank you for that. I believe we have a new outro song. I don't know what it is yet. Was it the outro or the intro, Mayo? Do you remember? I believe this is the outro song.
I think Jesus has been working on both. I think we have an outro and an intro.
Hey, so maybe you already listened to whatever it was that I didn't hear. So shout out to those people for the intro and the outro, because this will all get edited later. But thank you, Jesus. And thank you guys for providing us with those awesome tunes. And now on to the games. Mayo, I know that you haven't played a whole lot, but I did want to get on today because I did play a lot of Wasteland 3. So I just want to kind of go right into that. So yeah, Wasteland 3. I've never played any previous titles. I know the only like gameplay I think I've even seen on these games was watching Blaze from the Blaze Experience, Derek. I think I watched him stream some Wasteland 2, and it almost reminds me of almost like the earlier Fallout games, Fallout 1 and 2, again, which I've never played. And again, those were all that isometrical, top-down, team-based strategy games.
No, right away, again, I haven't played any of the Wasteland games either. I just kind of assumed they were kind of like an XCOM type game. Am I wrong in that aspect?
No, and I saw somebody had posted that. And so, yeah, this is, I would say it is like an XCOM game. Well, it's a little different, I think, because there is a lot of you'll come into an area and you're free to move around with your other companions, and you'll see a box and you'll come over and you'll loot that box and take the items out of it, and and you can move around the room. And I think it's not until you really walk up upon an enemy where it will trigger that sort of the turn-based combat. So then it will become, it'll become just like an XCOM game in that matter. So, but yeah, it's let me see here. It has a. So I just want to go back to I know that there was a Wasteland 2 and they did a remaster and they put that on Game Pass, but it looked really like old PC 1998 kind of, not graphics but gameplay style. And I thought, oh whoa, no, this is not for me, And I felt like I was moving chess pieces around this board. I thought, no, it's not something I'm into. But yeah, so this came out. I've been playing mostly on Xbox. It's not running very well on the console itself for some reason. So I'll probably switch it over and play it on PC the rest of this week. Kind of see how that goes. It's just stuttering a lot. Even for a game that doesn't require a lot of I wouldn't think CPU. Where, for example, I might come across an NPC and I go to talk to that person, and I'll move the right stick to kind of move the camera around to get a better angle, and it stutters, and the person speaking is stuttering. But those are just some of the only hiccups that I've really come across. But other than that, every person that you come across is fully voiced, which is cool. It's not just dialogue. So that's definitely something that's really cool. And I think the voice acting is done pretty well for all the people you come across. But it starts out where I want to say you're coming from, you're Arizona Ranger, right? This is apocalypse. So you come to Colorado and you meet these, I'll just call them marauders, really, is what they are. But I guess they are all Rangers is who you're meeting mostly. They're there for the greater cause of the good of the state of Colorado. So, yeah. And so, yeah, you meet the base commander there, and he's trying to set you up with pretty much just other objectives and things that you need to complete. But yeah, so far it's pretty good so far. I mean, I'm enjoying it. So it's the turn-based stuff is cool. I think I set it definitely to maybe not baby mode, but I definitely set it on easy. Because I'm not, that's even how I have it set up on XCOM, since I don't play those a ton. But yeah, but that's pretty much the story. You're a ranger and you go out and complete these, complete the story, do the objectives, and collect loot, sell it, upgrade weapons. You're collecting a lot of stuff, which is kind of cool because you can I think the upgrading of the weapons and wearing the armor and upgrading that, it's pretty good, real good RPG stuff. But the dialogue is very much that Western, hillbilly talk and yo yonder and you're gonna get it, and it's I always bring back that thing of where that movie I always reference, The Hills Have Eyes, and some of these people wearing bird heads and they're talking about, we're gonna get you and God's on my side, and we're going through the deluge. You know, I'm like, what the heck's a deluge? You know, just the real humorous, silly talk.
Right.
And yeah, so I'll mention one of these missions that I went on, because you get this vehicle where once you leave the base, you have this vehicle, and it's just sort of basic controls on the controller, and it doesn't do anything other than the fact that if you get stuck, you just press Y to have a tow truck come out and, you know, unstick you. But yeah, but you just drive from one objective to the next, and graphic wise it looks pretty cool. I have no idea like where I'm going because everything's in the dark. I'm just kind of driving around until I find something. But yeah, once you get to said place, you basically travel to that location, and, you know, go meet the people or fight people or whatever the heck it might be. But yeah, there's a mission there where I come across, there's this giant Ronald Reagan statue, right? And it's moving around, and it's like, what the heck is going on here, you know? And he, you know, he of course has the voice of Ronald Reagan, and you go and meet Nancy, right? And, you know, like Nancy Reagan, right? But everybody is named Nancy, you know? And everybody's real proud to be called Nancy if you're a woman, you know, and be married to the Ronald statue. Yeah. But basically you're looking for, what the heck is his name? I forgot his name, but it's the main guy who's in charge of Colorado. You're trying to go find his kids, because they'll eventually want to be in charge of Colorado. So I think that's like the objective that I'm on now. And yeah, it's a little, like, some of that stuff is just a little bizarre, you know, with the Ronald Reagan statue, and yeah, it's weird. So, but combat wise, it's a little different, I think, from like an XCOM where it's not very spread out. Everything feels a lot closer, like on your squares. It's not like I found like the best place to, you know, let's say find not shelter, but you're behind cover, right? And I felt like it was just maybe easier to like just have everybody right up near the enemies, because there might just only be two of them. You know, they might just be two robots or two, you know, mutated dogs or something. And then I felt like they were fairly easy to take out. There is like also like this option to where you can, you know, once you find, like, you know where the enemies are, and they'll have like the, almost like the eyeball of like, hey, you know, they can't see you or they're going to see you, that sort of thing, that sort of mechanic. So you can take your team and kind of place them in certain locations kind of before, and then go ahead and attack, you know, initiate the actual turn-based combat. But I haven't quite figured that out yet. Like how is that going to help me? Yeah, so I've just been going in with everybody, and yeah, everybody all at once, and maybe over time, like, I'll have to actually probably be more strategic about it.
Right. I'll have to definitely give it a shot, you know, especially since it's on Game Pass. You know, it's just right there to download, so all I do is just waste the time by downloading it. If I don't like it, I don't like it, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue. I'll tell you that right now. So there are things like where you come on a mission and your reputation, like, you can gain reputation by, you know, by they're saying things like, for like, oh, I'm the best, not a blacksmith, but, you know, the person that made that Ronald Reagan statue or whatever they're going to be called, like a mechanic or something, you know, and you can be like, what if you like that Ronald Reagan statue so much, why don't you marry it? You know, like that was one of the options, so I chose it, and I lost reputation because I was being sarcastic, you know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, okay, I should have just said you are awesome and you're amazing. So I was trying to, like, there was like a way to almost like kind of get that reputation back up with that person. I really don't know how that's going to affect me in the future with that person, because I was reading somewhere where they were saying this game is like, could be possibly 100 hours. So I'm like, oh, okay, so you're probably going to come back to this location more than several times to either barter goods or buy supplies or something. But yeah, so far it's, I mean, the the actual dialogue and everything. Normally, I would just be like yawning at such dialogue, like, oh my gosh, there's too much of it. But it's definitely holding my interest. So this is from In Exile, and it reminds me of a little more dialogue than what you'd find in like an Outer Worlds game. But yeah, Wasteland 3, it's good. Good game so far. Good RPG. Recommend that. And what else did I play? Gears number 5 with Pinpoint, Jonathan Big D Hall, and Johnny Don't. All we played was just, what do we play? I always forget the name of these things that they're... It's not the Horde mode.
Oh, I'll get ready to call it the Horde mode.
Yeah. No, it's the other thing that you do that, like, it's more like you're just kind of running down a straight path, but it's more about escape. Maybe that's what it's called. It's called Escape.
Oh, is that the one that you have, like, yeah, I remember it. I think I played it with him once.
Yeah, and I want to say, I know John, he had put it on easy, and it was just the 3 of us, and then Johnny Don't left, but it like almost like increased the difficulty. Well, it's a little harder with just 2 people, when you have multiple enemies coming at you and you have a limited supply of ammo, because that's what these games are. They just give you a limited supply of ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not much in your pistol or assault rifle, but yeah, we just kept failing at the end. Not even at the end. I think we were like halfway. They're like, all right, forget it. We're just gonna go play some Horde, and I think they were called like unique experiences, and all that. John was just choosing that, but all it really was just 12 rounds of Horde. That's the only thing. He was talking about the map that we played, like he's never seen it before. So at least they're adding more maps, which is cool. And again, played that on easy mode. Still fun though, it's still fun even when you have 5 people. But I thought, man, like, can we get 5 people and play on medium or hard difficulty? Because I have beat it on hard difficulty with 5 people. But you got to have 5, man. You start getting down into the 3s, and it's like you're just running and not shooting. But yeah, Gears 5, it always looks good, man.
It is a good-looking game. It's something I never finished a campaign. I should go back and finish that campaign. Even though that's the only one I ever played, I should go back and finish that.
It's a good campaign. I only played 3 hours of it, and then I never touched it again because my whole thing was, just basically Horde mode. Probably the best part of it. But yeah, the only other thing I played on Xbox, I pretty much just played Xbox games. It's called Xenon Racer, Xenon. It's just a free trial of a racing game, and it's just these futural electric cars with boost, almost like reminds me a little bit of Ridge Racer back in the day. I don't think they make those games anymore.
I think the last Ridge Racer they made was called maybe like Unbound. Yeah. I have one on Steam.
I want to say I had that on 360, and yeah, I really enjoyed the Ridge Racer games. I believe I also owned it on PC many years ago. But yeah, this is like also that very fast game, racing type thing where, you're coming around the corner, you're hitting boost, and then you're kind of tapping your B button to what is it when you turn your vehicle? What do they call that? You're almost like sliding,
Are you talking like drifting?
Drifting, thank you. I was never a drifter in the Forza games. But this one, it's more of a slight drift. It's not like a full-on, you're fully sideways type thing. But there is a drift to it, and like I was actually getting pretty good at it. But again, it was just a trial. I don't know how much the game is, probably $20 or $30. But yeah, they actually gave you a pretty healthy trial. I think it was like 1 or 2 hours of it.
Nice.
But yeah, I think next time it's on sale, I'm gonna pick it up. It was good. Cars look good. You're in like Tokyo, future Tokyo and stuff, and yeah, good graphics, cool looking cars. But yeah, that's pretty much all I played. What about you, Mayo? What'd you play?
Oh man, so I've been on hiatus the last couple of weeks here, scheduling issues and stuff like that. But let me go back probably like a week and a half ago. I played some Dead Cells. They had a new update come out on Dead Cells. So of course, naturally, anytime Dead Cells has its update, I have to play it. I gotta check it out. And they added the biggest draw was they added another level, like you can call it another biome, I guess, right before the last boss. So before, when you would make your run, you can take different paths to the final boss, and you always ended up at High Castle, which is the last level before you had to fight the boss. And they added an alternative route, and I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head 'cause it's been like a week and a half ago. But it has a whole bunch of exploding barrels, and it has like a platforming stuff where you gotta like go between these falling barrels that are exploding and stuff, and you gotta like not get hit. And you got these enemies that throw barrels at you that explode and do like a ton of damage. It was actually really difficult. I didn't try it on normal. I was playing it on the 2BC, which is the level that I'm on, trying to beat still forever now. It feels like, but just grinding through it. And they also added kind of a neat feature. They added a 16-bit soundtrack. So it's like almost like an old school throwback. It's like the same audio, same songs and all that kind of stuff for each level, but it's done as like a 16-bit, more
arcadey style.
Yeah.
More retro.
So that update is actually going to be coming to consoles here pretty soon. It's not out there for the Xboxes yet, but it will be coming out pretty soon, from my understanding. They're just kind of finishing it up. But I'm enjoying it. They do give you a couple new weapons. There's like 2 new weapons, I think, and that new level, then that new soundtrack you can change to begin the game. So again, another nice free update. It's all free DLC from them guys. They've only ever charged one time, and I think it was maybe either $9 or $5, and it was a whole big update. It was a whole new biome, and it was a whole bunch of new weapons and all that stuff. But as much as so many people like this game, and people are always like, I wish they'd actually charge for the updates so we can actually support the developer, because people are buying this game and putting hours into it, and they're just giving away the content, and they're like,
it's definitely like a love or hate game, right? Like, if you're into these types of games, then you're gonna love this one.
And they're a small developer, so they can use the support, so it's kind of like, you definitely want to support these guys because they make a really good game. It's really fun.
I feel that I did. I bought them like right away when it came out on Steam, like immediately. Like I barely knew anything about it, and I think Ryan was like, maybe he had told me about it, or he's like, "You buying that game?" I'm like, "Bought it already, done." So I remember bought it early on Steam.
I think it was way before I was doing this show. It came out, and I remember Ryan talking about it. And I remember messaging him one time, and like I had just beaten it, and he was trying to finish it up, and I was giving him some pointers on how to do it and stuff, and how to do some things, because there's some things in that game it doesn't really explain very well. But once you learn it, it makes complete sense, and you're like, oh, I get it now. And I was explaining to him these things, and then he was able to go through and beat it the first time. But everybody, again, makes this mistake. They finish the game one time, and they think they've completely beat this game. And there's 5 levels of difficulty you can go through. And each time you change that level of difficulty, it changes a whole bunch of the game. So now, like on 2BC, the very first level has new enemies. Like there's enemies that were in the original normal difficulty, but they've added like 3 or 4 different enemy types that you run across that you would run into later in the game, and they do a lot of damage. And so you got to make sure you don't get hit. And then at this difficulty level, you don't get any heals in between rounds, so you don't want to carry too much damage into the bosses or take much damage from a boss. It gets way more difficult. But the game that's kind of neat is once you get to 5 BC and you beat the last boss, it's not actually the last boss anymore. They have another level that goes past that. But the only way you can do it is you beat it on the absolutely hardest difficulty. And you can get back, you can go to this next level, and then it has another boss at the end of that most people don't even know about. So that's kind of neat that you can go and fight this boss. And not give away, because I know that it's not like a spoiler, but it's the guy that you do the upgrade to that has the big like syringe looking thing.
Yeah.
That guy becomes a boss you have to fight at the very end of the game.
Wow.
And so that's like the true end. So everybody says, "Oh, I beat it on, I beat that game and I left it." And I'm like, "No, dude, you're missing out, because if you can go all the way up to the 5 BC, there's a whole new level and then a whole new boss that you've never even fought." So
that's a lot of grinding. Yeah, that's what you've been doing. That's what you've been doing to get this game completed.
And I've been on this 2BC for like a year. And I just can't get through it. It's difficult. And I
Yeah.
just know, like,
You know
and
what's
two,
funny
I'll
is,
have runs
we
where I just reset real quick because I take damage like early on. Like, you almost want to go through the whole first 2, 3 levels without even taking a hit because you just know you're not gonna get any health and through the whole entire game. So
yeah, and we talk about these other games that are on Steam. Not to say that they're not good or anything, but I'm like, Mayo, it's like Dead Cells. Yeah, but
yeah,
they're all imitators, compared to this one.
yeah, I
No
find a
one hit
bunch
the
of people
mark.
compare games to Dead Cells. It's almost got that Dark Souls kind of feel. Like people compare games to like Dark Souls, or they'll say it's a Souls like, and
Yeah,
now people are like, this is like a Dead Cells like game. So that's all something
Dead
them that
Cells.
they in favor
Yeah,
of.
Dark Souls platformer. Right.
Yeah,
That's pretty much what
but
that is.
but yeah, I love my Dead Cells. I still continue. That's my go-to game when I just want to sit back and relax. I don't want to put a bunch of time and thought into anything. Just go through and just try to beat that dumb 2BC again, and just work my way through. Um, some other stuff I've been playing. I'm still playing a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC. They've done multiple patches to make this game run a little bit better. It still doesn't get great frame rates on my PC. And even though I have a pretty, beefy PC with this, 2080 Super and this i9 10th gen CPU from Intel, it still only gives me about 80 frames. But that's running ultra on 1440 resolution too. But it only gives me, 80 frames, which isn't bad. I wish it could be higher. Oh my God, Death Stranding runs so much better than what Horizon does, and I
Hmm.
don't know if Horizon's just, I've heard people say it's a bad port. I don't know. I just know 80 frames it's doable, and I'm enjoying the game when I actually can sit down and play it. Like I feel like I have to be in the mood to play that game though. Like I will sit down and I'll play it and I'm like, oh, this game's really fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I'll play it for a while. And then when I step away from it, I just tend to stay away from it for a while.
Hmm.
I'm like, oh yeah, I should play that game. And then
Don't feel bad because I bought that on PlayStation and here I am in this room with the PC and the Xbox and it's over there still. The only thing I did was take it out of the wrapper and install it. That's it. That was
okay, so
almost a year
for
ago,
the
8 months ago.
and I remember, I'm not real far, and I did this whole proving thing, and you kind of get your first boss encounter where this big like spider-looking thing comes in, and it possesses these other robots, and they break in your area, and you got to like stop them. And it was a fun fight. I had fun with that. The audio is great. It sounds really good, and stuff through the headphones and everything. It sounds amazing, and I enjoyed that fight. I got into the more open world aspect of the game, and I just kind of stepped away one day, and I just haven't really returned since.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
just I don't know if I'm just too sidetracked to just other stuff going on or whatever not, but um, pretty much just have not coming back to it, and I almost had the itch to play it today, and then I got sidetracked again. So maybe
Yeah,
tomorrow.
that can happen pretty easy. Yep.
And I just gonna throw this out there. There's one other game. I myself have not played it, but it's been played a lot at my house. My son has played this a lot, and I've watched a lot of it over his shoulder, and he just absolutely loves this game. It's $5 on Steam, Gunny,
Hmm.
and it's free on mobile. The game is called Among Us, and this game is like so a lot of fun. This actually be fun with a good group on Discord. Like we can get some guys in the community together, and we can play this game. So you can have, I think, 10 people in a group from what I've seen, and you're on a little space station. It's top down, it's real simple, probably like 16-bit graphics, and you have 10 people, and you're all in this room, and you'll have like you can set it up to have like one or two or maybe even three imposters, and the imposter's job is to
Yeah.
kill all the other members on the ship, but you have to do it discreetly, almost kind of like it makes it like a whodunit kind of game. So
Yes.
everybody's given tasks, and they all run off in different directions when the round starts. And you, the murderer, act like you're going off to do a task, and they all can't see you. So like they all have their own screen, and they only see what's on their screen. And you can go through like these tunnels and shortcuts, and you can kind of see around and see where people are going. And you go and you off a guy, and when you kill this guy, they get put, if you're on an online match and you're not playing with actual people, they get put into a dead chat where they can't interact with the guys that are still alive in chat. So it separates the two chats. So the people that are dead can't sit there and spoil it for the guys that are still alive. So say one or two people die in the very first round, and these other people get these tasks they have to complete. As they complete those tasks, there's a progress bar across the top. If that progress bar gets filled up, the other people win. So your goal as the um, imposter is to kill off the whole entire crew or stop them. And so when you kill a person, when somebody will spot the dead body and they call a meeting, and so the game will kind of pause, and it takes everybody that's alive and it puts them in a room and it lets them talk to each other, and they sit there and they try to figure out who the killer was. Looks like we got Kyle coming in. Hey, how you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing good.
So I'm talking about Among Us. Gunny was just telling me in chat here on Type that you've been playing it.
Yeah, I played it.
Yeah, what do you think of Among Us so far?
Well, I think it's a very strategic game, and it's pretty fun.
Yeah. You know, this is free on mobile too, and it has cross-platform play, so like you can play with your friends and just have them download it on their phone for free, and then you can get in Discord on your phones, and you can play on Discord as long as somebody doesn't vocally ruin the game by saying who the killer was. You can play that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you playing this game on?
I'm playing it on PC and Discord.
On Steam? Yeah. Have you bought any of the DLC? I know there's some DLC. My son bought some DLC the other day because he's been playing it a lot.
I only played the base game.
Okay, yeah. Just the DLCs, like I think it's a lot of cosmetics. So you can buy cosmetics, you can buy different hats. I think you can have a little pet that follows you around. Just different looks for your character. I think there's like a fireman hat and a policeman hat, and just like a cowboy hat or whatever not. You can do different colors and stuff. So, but yeah, it's been looks like a really entertaining game. He's been asking me to get it for a little while. He bought it on his Steam account, and so I'm gonna pick it up on my Steam account so I can play with him also. And maybe we'll get a community night going, and we can get some people in the community together, and we can play this on Discord.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Anything you want to add? What do you think of like the sessions? What are probably 15 minutes long a run, maybe? Like
I'd say maybe 10 or 5.
it just depends how quick the killers are too. I know I watched my son play the one, and he killed like two people in one shot, and then there was two imposters, and the other imposter killed two people in one shot. So they killed four people of the 10, and they actually won in 2 rounds. So it was pretty quick. So he was excited how good they did. But do you like being the imposter, or do you like being the people trying to figure out who the killer is?
I like being the imposter.
Yeah, and trying to blend in and try to be strategic.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fun.
yeah. And I'm assuming, like, I haven't played it, but you as the imposter, you're trying to persuade them, obviously, that it wasn't you, and be like, look, I've seen this guy over here, and trying to place the blame on somebody else. And if they vote on somebody else, that person gets kicked out of the spaceship that you're in, and so that person's considered dead then also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, you can eliminate 2 or 3 people on a round real quick. So. But it's like a really good game. And you know what? It's $5 on Steam. So, and this game's actually been out for like a year plus already, and it's just now picking up popularity for some reason.
I think it's because of the release of the Henry Stickmin collection.
Yeah, it could be. But yeah, so good stuff. That's pretty much. I mean, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add about it, or.
I think I'll pass you back to Henley.
Okay.
See ya.
All right. Have a good one. That was Gunny's boy, Kyle, coming in talking about some Among Us, some good times.
Yeah, good times. I knew Kyle had played that, so I want to get him on here. He can.
Yeah, it seems to be popular with the Twitch community right now. There's some big Twitch streamers playing it and getting together and having a lot of fun with it. It's just that little who did it kind of thing, but that top-down view, and it's real simple looking, super cheap game, easy to get into. I can't remember if you stepped away, I was able to hear it or not, but you can get this game on mobile for free.
Yeah, I see it free on iOS.
And you can cross-play with Steam.
Oh,
so,
nice.
you can just open up a Discord group and we could all play together, and people wouldn't even have to spend any money on the game unless you want to support the developer and buy the game from them. I had some friends that stream regularly, and I recommended it to them, and they've been playing it off stream, and they've been loving it. They were thanking me the other day, like, "Oh, this game's great! I can't believe how fun this is, and we had a great time playing it." And my son, that's like, "Oh, he's been playing. He's been playing. He's got a core group he plays with, and they just sit there and play for hours upon hours, and sometimes they play with randoms, and sometimes he teams up with a couple friends, or sometimes they get a group of 10 together and play. So good times.
Cool. Play locally with up to 5 to 10. That's awesome. Yeah. And it's got a lot of crossplay on it from Steam. That's cool. Sweet.
And yeah, there's cosmetics you can buy. Like I was telling Kyle that there's like a little, like you get like a little pet that runs around with you. And I know my son spent $10 on cosmetics on it today. So, but pretty neat game. He's been asking me to get it, so I think I'm definitely gonna buy it. So that way I can play it off his account because it is Steam shared, but we can't play at the same time. So I'll just have to pick it up so we can play together.
Yeah. Yeah, I just downloaded it on iOS because I already bought the game for my kid, so I'm not gonna buy that yet. But I can always Steam share on him.
I did too, but I'll buy it again.
But I never get the opportunity because he's always on Steam.
Yeah. Get that. That was my day today. My boy was over at the place today, and he was on Steam all day. He was on my PC all day. So
speaking of PC, Mayo, just real quickly before we jump to the news here, I know that I'm just looking at, PC parts and stuff. I know I've sent you a couple of things, and you've kind of briefly looked over them, but I just wanted to talk about that real quick. And that is just trying to build a PC for my son, and something that'll last him a couple of years. At least, where I want to say at least 3 years, but I know that there's parts that are going to be upgraded. But yeah, I think the hardest thing was like trying to find is like what case he wants, or what's there is no one thing I found out, like there is no best PC case.
No, it's a matter of your own preference and style in a way. Some people I talk to don't want any kind of glass windows. They just want a computer case. They don't need anything real fancy. Some people want, like mine's all glass on the front, on the sides, and plenty of room. Some people want a real big tower. Some people want a small one. There's a wide variety. The biggest thing I look for is just like functionality, how well, it supports fans, what kind of ventilation does it have? Can it keep everything cool? Because, like putting high-end hardware in there, that stuff runs hot. So you want to keep it as cool as possible. So I'm always kind of doing like looking at different cases and just seeing where the fans will go is the biggest thing. Is it's like, okay, it's pulling air in from the front and it's pulling air out the back, so it's got air coming through the case that way. Sometimes you have some air blowing back out the top or from underneath. It just kind of depends, So my case actually can pull air from underneath, and it can pull air from the front, and it can pull air from the right side. Actually, the side where there's no window, it actually has vents back there, and the way my fans are positioned, they can pull air in from that right side, so which is kind of nice.
That's great.
So
yeah.
I have air coming from all different directions.
Yeah, because that was the one thing where I think there were just hundreds of YouTube videos on, I can't recommend this case, but this case is all right, and this one's, it does have the, really good cooling and, placement for fans, and just trying to find the right one is it's tough. But the one thing I did find was like, I think if you always want to go with an easy case, always get the biggest case.
Yeah, I mean, that can give you plenty of cooling because it's gonna be so big already.
And
if you go with a full size tower, sure.
Yeah, right, and that's the thing too, where you order a graphics card, you don't know if it's going to be something I received from like when I got the iBuyPower thing, which was like this compact 1060, graphics card, right? And then when I went to get a replacement, it was like 4 inches longer than that one. It's like, holy crap, it's not going to fit in there.
For the most part, most cases in graphics cards are pretty much a standard size. So like the one you have was more of a micro build, and they make specific graphics cards for those. So you can buy a smaller graphics card, and the form factor is a little shorter, and stuff on them. but typically they're the longer ones and they fit in the most standard cases. So they kind of match up well together. But just what happens to be, it seems to be like when you buy the small case, that's more the abnormally. And so you have to know to get a small power supply. You have to know to get a small graphics card. And
Yeah.
usually like those, you have a micro motherboard, and the micro motherboard only has 2 RAM slots, where most motherboards have 4 RAM slots. So they're limited somewhat, but they're really nice when you get those small ones. You can like put it in the living room, by your TV, and some people are using it as like a media center, or like even like a TiVo. I've even seen them use it like TiVos, where you can actually run your TV into them and you can record and stuff like that, like a DVR and stuff
I
like
thought
that.
that was kind of old school stuff, that
Yeah,
people
and that
did
is kind of old, but
Yeah.
that was what they were pushing for
I
a
remember
while.
those, put your cable, you can coaxial cable into the back of your, your cable card.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that being a thing for a while. But speaking of hardware, just hit on this real quick, Gunny. Tomorrow, I know by the time this episode come out, it might be actually too late unless we get this uploaded tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon at noon my time and 9 a.m. your time, I believe, over Pacific time. NVIDIA is having an announcement tomorrow, and it's about 90% believed that this is where they're going to announce a new graphics
The
card.
3090 or something, or
Yes, so the 3000 series is going to be coming out, and their speculation is going to be the 3090. We don't know if there's going to be a TI. It might just be 3090, then 3080, 70, and 60. But they're claiming the 3090 is going to be 50% faster than the 2080 Ti. So going to be a significant jump in performance again, from what these 20 series cards, I call them 20 series, 2000 series
Right.
cards were. Those weren't that much of a jump from the 1000. Like the 1070 and the 2070 wasn't much of a jump in performance. It was just the fact that it had support for ray tracing and stuff. Where this one's going to actually be the next jump in performance again. So these new cards should, be coming out probably by November, I'm going to say. Maybe even they'll have them right away. I don't know. Because I am seeing some stuff from like Zodiac and a couple like MSI, and they always come out like a month after NVIDIA announces their Founders Edition, and I'm seeing leaked pictures of these already. So this stuff might come out really soon. They might have been just waiting for a little while. They typically release this stuff in like late spring. They announce it, and it comes out usually in like June or July. So they're a little behind because of COVID.
Right.
So this might, get announced tomorrow and maybe come out in like October or November. I can see that happening. I definitely see it happening before the consoles come out, because I don't think, as weird as it sounds, I know they don't compete with consoles. I don't think they like the new consoles being as powerful as like a 20 series graphics card. They don't want that to happen. They got to make sure they have their graphics card more powerful than what you can get on an Xbox.
Of course. Yeah.
They got to keep that one step ahead. But, it's this new 3090 is rumored to be about $1,400. So very, very pricey. So we'll see. I might have to start putting money back to buy one, and then I'll
Yeah.
give my son his 2080 Super that I have.
I follow the PC Gamer on Twitter, so I'm always like, yeah, I'll definitely see that tomorrow and read the details on what it is, and then I'll wait for the YouTube videos to say, look, it's only 30% faster, not 50,
Right.
32% faster.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is kind of, obviously they're going to hype it up as much as they can, but wait for these reviews to come out and see, because there's guys like Gamers Nexus who I really like on YouTube. They have a really good channel, and they really get technical, and they really break those down, and they will figure that out and tell you how well this thing runs.
Is that the guy with the long hair?
Yes.
Yes, him. He's the one, like, I think I was clicking on videos looking for that case, and he was popping up everywhere. Yeah,
Oh
Gamers
man,
Nexus.
they do a really good channel over there on their YouTube channel, again at Gamers Nexus, and they are some smart people. I mean, they really they'll tear a graphics card down completely and go through the whole entire thing, and they have some really neat videos. So they do computer cases and everything. They measure airflow and temperatures and benchmarks. They just go all out.
Yeah, they know their stuff for sure, so.
Yes, even more so than like what's the one that really breaks down games?
Linus Tech Tips, maybe?
No, that Jesus was mentioning the other day. Like they did Horizon Zero Dawn when it came out. I want to say Digital Foundry, not
Oh,
Digital
those
Foundry.
guys, yeah. I don't know what they do. I only watch them for like they do. Yeah, random things. In me, I only see random videos. I don't think I subscribe to them. I
Yeah,
only
neither
look for
do I.
what's
I know
important to
they,
me, and then I'll go look for it.
I know they do some breakdowns too, but that's what Gamers Nexus does, and they got a cool channel and stuff, and I really like watching them. So, but yeah, so do your research, before you jump out and buy one right away. I'm not gonna go out and pre-order one just yet. I'll wait and see, what the numbers look like, and before I know I need to drop, 800 per se at 3080, whether I'm gonna drop 1400 for a 3090, how much of a performance difference is there going to be between a 3080 and a 3090 and
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. So to see where that sweet spot's at, where I'm not just paying $300 or $400 more for say 10% more performance or something, So
exactly.
something to watch. But so it's kind of exciting to see, some new hardware coming out. It's been a couple of years since they've announced a new card, so I'm
Yeah,
getting
and I
that
think that's the other
tomorrow.
thing too. Like you had mentioned it before, talking about you're buying the latest and the greatest, and then whatever firmware patch comes out for it's not quite working the way it should because it's brand new. It's like you
Right,
would
it's
think
still
you'd
up to
you'd get the
date. Yeah,
first patch ever, paying the most amount of money, but
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's, and then, I don't have to upgrade. This 2080 for me would last quite a while, but I like to stay on top of it. So most people, if you buy a 2080, you're good for a long time yet. You could play all these next generation games that are coming out, like these new Xbox games that are coming out for the Series X. You could be able to play them on a 2080. I just like to keep the newest cards, in my PC. So I'll take my 2080 and give it to my son, and actually probably give Nips my 1070 I had in my old PC that my son uses. So
yeah, yeah, I'm sure like when I upgrade maybe his PC and we'll be swapping parts back and forth, and eventually I'll get a new one as well.
yeah,
But
but even your list you have now, we had like a 2000 series graphics card, so you're gonna want to have a 3000 series now because there's gonna be no point in buying a 2070 or 2080. 'Cause I don't think actually I think they stopped production of them. So you would have to find a used one or find one that's been sitting on the shelves. The same way like the Xbox was. They stopped the series or the Xbox One X. The only way you're gonna find one is a used one, or you're gonna find one that's been sitting on the shelf that's never been bought.
yeah,
So that's the same thing with these graphics cards. These 20 series graphics cards, they've stopped production on them already. They did that like a month and a half ago. So, what if you find one? Yeah, you can buy one, but you might as well wait because you can pay the same price for a 3000 series, and you might as well just get that because it's not like they don't just lower the prices of the ones that are sitting around the shelves. They will keep them things at full price,
they will. Yep.
and they release these new 3000 series for the same price. So then you can be like, I have this 3080 or a 2080, and they're both $800. Which one are you gonna buy? Obviously, you're gonna buy the 3080.
Yeah,
But
could be
no, that's
expensive.
that's all I got. I just wanted to throw that in there real quick. Some PC hardware talk.
Yeah, good times, man. Let's go over to talk about some news. We have breaking news.
A whole breaking news, huh?
Breaking news. Can I get a breaking news sound bit over there?
Breaking news.
Breaking news. We don't have much on the news front here, but moving over to what do we have here? Halo. Halo. Remember that game that was going to come out
Oh yeah.
with the
The game seems to
Xbox?
be in so much trouble right now for some reason. I'm getting some bad vibes from this game.
I don't know. Yeah, it's. I haven't been kept. What's hard to tell for me is what's almost like what's true and what's not, and what's coming from straight from Microsoft or I want to say Bungie, 343, or is it just an article that
Yeah.
PCGamer.com came out? You know what I mean? It's almost like, yeah, it's like I got to keep it all straight as to
Because,
what's actually
like,
true.
back to square one here, when they first showed the game in their event, the Xbox event, they seemed really proud of it. They were like, "This is Halo," and they showed a lot of footage. And then it took a couple of days, and people started complaining. They're like, "This game doesn't look that great," And they did that. I think it was Digital Foundry did a breakdown of it, and they're like, "Oh, these backgrounds and this and that," and then they come out and was like, "Oh, well, that might have been an early video." It's like, why would you be showing an early video if you have something better?
Yeah,
They're going to be showing the better video that they had, and they put this thing together specifically for this show. So that pretty much tells me that's their best content that they had. So they don't have a better version. So that's where it looks like right now. Then everybody like jumping on them like it doesn't look great. Then we've seen articles, like last time I was on the show, that they were bringing in outside developers to help make this game. All of a sudden. And then who was it? The creator of Halo, I think, stepped down or from 343.
I don't know, but we have... So the article I have here in front of me is veteran Joseph Staton is returning with Halo Infinite. He's a former Bungie director of cinematics, will become Infinite's project lead for the campaign. So it goes on to say here that he's responsible for shaping the Halo universe. He's returning to the series, worked as director. He worked at Bungie among other roles and is temporarily joining 343 Industries as a project lead for Halo's Infinite campaign. So he joined Microsoft back in 2014. And I don't know what he's doing, like what he was doing just prior to him joining 343. But either way, he worked at Microsoft. He works at Microsoft. So he was a story director on Destiny before leaving Bungie, and since then has had a hand in several first-party Microsoft projects, including Killer Instinct, Quantum Break, Recore, and Crackdown 3, amongst others. So I don't know if this is even like, I mean, I guess Halo is really under that microscope.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, of course we're gonna get everything we can on everything Halo as far as like. Yeah, I don't know. It's, and again, I'll just say that I'm not a big Halo fan, so it wasn't like I was expecting anything out of that show anyway. So it looked like whatever.
Right.
It looks like Halo to me, and they're kind of going back to their Combat Evolved roots here.
Yeah, that's my stance on it too. I don't really play a whole lot of Halo. Mainly because I've always played on PC. I didn't play a whole bunch of Xbox, so now I have my Xbox One X and all that stuff. But I never really was in the Halo series, and the video looked okay to me. I wasn't saying, this game looks bad or anything like that. I'm like, it looked like Halo, and it looked like it could be a good time. But it just seems like it's such like in flux right now. There's these people, they're bringing people in to help make it, and then a guy leaves, and they're bringing like this guy in, and like they're bringing in like temporary help, and it sounds like they're just like they put a product out there in that demo, and it wasn't received well, and they're trying to change it now. Like almost kind of like Microsoft's like, we got to make this better. We got to make this and this and this, and and bring in as much people and talent as we can to get this thing changed as fast as possible. And that kind of worries me. As you start to, I think as you do a game a certain way, and then you get almost done with it, and then you're like, we need to change what we're doing. Let's bring in all this outside help to help us get it hammered down. It worries me that it could lose its way in a way, or it could feel like a rushed product, And so I just feel like Microsoft is really hammering to get this out, and I'm afraid they're just going to rush and get it out there.
Yeah, it's possible. So it just goes on to say that it also addresses rumors regarding Halo's Infinite's release window and platform support. The game definitely won't be pushed to 2022. The post reads, nor will support for the original Xbox One be dropped. So I know they confirmed that. That was last week. They confirmed that, no, it's still coming out for the OG Xbox One and the Xbox Series X. So it'll be on all platforms, Game Pass, you name it. Yeah, it's almost like I just was thinking that I know... Yeah, I know it all kind of ties in, and I get it. Microsoft's trying to get everything... They want to rush this, right? Well, not so much of a rushed product, but they want to get as many people on this as possible because it is their flagship game.
Right.
It's not Forza, it's not Gears, it's Halo. And I still think there's a possibility, I still think there's a possibility they will delay the console until Halo is ready. I honestly think that. I thought that even back a month and a half ago. And especially when they showed this video of Halo and it flopped in some people's, minds that, it sucks and we don't want this game and it's not the game we want. So I thought, okay, when they went back to the drawing board, said it's totally being delayed. Thought, oh yeah, this is definitely gonna play into that. So I don't know. It's
I'm sure that's a hard discussion. That's why they make the big dollars. Because do you try to just continue to release the Xbox and put it out there for the holidays, or do you sit back and you wait and you give it more time for production? You have more time for supply. You get more in one hand, so you can sell more when it becomes time to release it. And say you wait until, say, spring of next year, say spring of 2021,
right.
and then the economy people might not be able to afford to buy the PlayStation and the Xbox, so you're forcing people to buy two anyways, and so you might get more sales by going down the road anyways, because people don't have a lot of extra money right now because of COVID and stuff. Still a lot of people are still
yeah. I think that's why they're
effects of
also
that.
yeah. That's another reason too, right? That I'm sure Microsoft and Sony are secretly like, what do we price this at? People are hurting right now. The economy's hurting. People's wallets are hurting. So what we can't really, maybe that's what they're waiting on. That who knows, right? That could be it. We can't say 500, guys. Could we say 600? No, not at times like these. So
I definitely don't think they can say 600. I don't know why. I just feel like 600 for it's too much. I don't know why, and it's just my gut, and it tells me that it just sounds like a wrong price. Like to me it just sounds wrong, and I'm not even like I said, I buy these consoles now, but it just 600 sounds crazy to me. 500 sounds like a good spot. Even though I'll spend that money on a graphics card and all, but that's completely different for some reason in my mind. But these consoles, I feel like 500 is like that sweet spot. Like I don't think you should really want to go over that number because then it becomes unaffordable for people. Because then it becomes a more expensive investment, obviously. But it just, when you start talking $700 to get into that ecosystem because you need to buy games or an extra controller or
yeah,
we're not just talking
especially
the price of just a console. It doesn't come with two controllers, and let's face it, a lot of people buy these consoles, they probably have more than one kid,
yeah.
and
That's
so
the
they're
thing, right?
they're
Where
maybe
you
playing together, so you're buying, okay,
yeah.
you got to have another controller because the little brother or little sister doesn't want to use the old Xbox One controller, they got to have a new one too.
See, that
So
would have been a good thing where, if Johnny's if he's in somewhere, Target, Walmart, GameStop, and he's telling Mom, no, Mom, if I buy the new Xbox, Halo comes with it because it's Game Pass and I already have it. I remember you bought it for me, so I already have it. I don't have to buy the games. You know what I mean? So buy me an extra controller, Mom.
yeah,
right?
that is a nice,
I will
that is
need
a
the
nice
extra
thing, though,
controller. It's
with
the only thing you're
Game
going to have to spend money on.
that is great about Game Pass is the fact that again you're paying that monthly subscription where you get games right away, and you won't have to make that initial purchase. I remember back in the day, like this is back in like '95, Gunny, when the PlayStation came out. I remember driving and buying one of those, and I think it was I'm sketchy on the price anymore. I want to say it was 400. I want to say it was like 399, or it could have been 499. I don't remember now. The original PS1.
I think it was 4. I think.
That's what I'm
Because I
thinking. I'm thinking it
paid
was
3.
399. I'm thinking it was 399, but I remember buying 3 games with it and an extra controller, and I remember spending. I was thinking it was like $600,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Holy cow!" That was back in '95.
Right. I think I paid 300. Oh gosh, that would have been, I don't know, 97, 98. Yeah, somewhere in that time frame. But yeah, it was obviously, prices had dropped by then. So I had that thing for a long time. I don't know what happened to it. But moving on, Mayo, more console stuff. Sony offering limited PS5 pre-orders directly from its website. So one of the things I know that PlayStation had talked about this before, about how you could order directly from them, and this will keep, because if they have a limited inventory, then this will keep, what are they called? What are those people that tend to buy them all up and put them on eBay?
Oh, like almost like your scalpers, like these people buy
Scalpers,
stuff
yeah.
and yeah.
But somebody had said, look, if whoever the scalper is, like these people, they have a lot of money, right? They'll just make like 15, 30 email accounts or something.
Yeah.
I think Brink put that on there. I was like, no, damn it, don't give them any ideas, because this was one comforting thing I always thought, that This would be good. If Sony does this, if Xbox does this, this is awesome, you know? Then I'm totally down with just ordering it directly from the website.
And also don't we have to register on this website, and then they'll contact us if you are chosen to be able to pre-order? Is that what I'm kind of hearing?
Right. So you have to already have an account. And somebody had said, was it in Discord or somewhere else, where it was based on how many trophies you have? Like,
Oh, like how much you're actually playing and
yeah, how much you actually play.
wow.
And I was like, oh, that's interesting. I
Yeah,
think,
well, that would guarantee that I wouldn't get one since I haven't had a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2. I'm not in that ecosystem,
so
so
it
I would definitely
probably,
be left out.
if that's true, right? And let's just say you have a Sony account. I think you can just go to Sony.com and make an account right now. Unfortunately, right? But it does
Right.
put you at the bottom of the list.
Hmm. So that's kind of interesting to me. Say they have a limited number of PlayStations they can give out. They can sell. And what if Sony just says we're not going to give GameStop any PlayStation 5s or Target, and we're just going to sell them directly through us? That could really hurt Target and GameStop and all them
That
vendors,
could.
especially GameStop. That would really hurt GameStop if they couldn't sell a new system. I know they don't make a lot of money on them, but that's a draw. That's a big draw. If you don't have a
Yeah.
PS5 in a video game store, then you're going to be hurting because somebody's going to be buying them from somewhere else. But if say there's only so many PS5s out there and Sony kind of knows that, I would wonder if they can just directly ship it through them. And they're just kind of like, you know what? We'll just do it this way since we have such a limited supply, maybe. And that
Interesting.
could be
Yeah.
that'd
And
be kind of rough.
yeah, that would be, it was just strange times. I would just wonder how long would they have that limited supply? And I don't think it's even like a supply issue. I think it's more about getting it to store shelves is what some of these retailers are talking.
Hmm.
Right? So it wasn't so much that they only made so many PlayStations or Xboxes. It's about getting it to the, because it's all made in China. Everything. It's all made there. Yes, Foxconn does have companies here in the US and in the UK, but all of the consoles are made in mainland China, right? No other place. So that's where they make them, and it's just about getting them here. And you got to keep that flow coming in, right? It takes a couple months to get from that on a ship, and these things are massive, by the way. They come into Los Angeles, and they come into New Jersey and New York and Texas and wherever. I don't know. It's just, yeah. I think that's some of the articles I've been reading is just a matter of getting them all on the shelves for the holiday. So I don't know, how would Sony even change that? But I don't know. It's just a strange time. So, but I'm down with it, man. I'm down with these guys just doing it this way rather than scalpers buying like 40 at a time or whatever.
Yeah,
That's BS.
that's gonna be the hard thing.
That
Yeah,
always
because
pissed me off, especially with the Nintendo Classic. I remember, I think it was when we first started, kind of revitalize the podcast here, and I was like, I really want one of those, and I'm so excited to get one, and scalpers bought them all up because they only made
Yeah.
a limited supply. So I was like, you know what? Screw you, Nintendo. That just ticked me off to no end. Let's see here. Oh, so we have just a moment of silence here for the Black Panther star. It's not video game related, but Chadwick Boseman has passed away at the age of 43. One of the Avengers. All right, folks, moving on. Madden 21. It's had a rocky start. So the devs have said, this is just the start, people. So we're working on it. Somebody had compared this to like almost like an Anthem type situation with Madden 21.
Oh no.
Yeah. Let's see here. EA has now reiterated that the launch is just beginning. Madden NFL is a live service, and longtime players know that the launch is just start of an annual Madden journey. To that end, Title 2 update came out with the game's official release on August 28th. And it includes fixes for the face of the franchise and Ultimate Teams, amongst other areas of the game. EA is planning another substantial update to be released in September, closer to the start of the NFL season. I don't think we're getting NFL this year, are we? The patch sounds like it will provide fixes for some of Madden's 21 most annoying and frustrating bugs. The bugs, they vary in frequency for the players. Some are common, some are rare, but we recognize when one is experienced, it can be frustrating, EA said. As an example, we've seen one bug where field art is not showing up for a small number of players that has been difficult for us to reproduce. However, we have a fix and it is coming in the next update. I always thought these games looked good. I know I've played them just to kind of get some of the easier achievements. Because, hey, they're achievements. I earned them. I had to play the game.
I enjoy sitting down and playing some Madden with the kids, on the TV, on the Xbox here and there. But I just find that, you think they would have the Madden series pretty much bug free by this point. They release one every year.
Right, every year. Yeah. How do you screw this up?
They should have plenty of practice making a Madden game.
Yeah. Well, I think also, I'm gonna have to stick up with EA on this one because it's funny because they're not saying it anywhere in this article, and I'm just kind of reading through it. But I do believe it has to do with everybody's working from home.
Yeah.
Right? They are. I'm telling you, if I drove down to Redwood City right now, where EA is, there's probably 2 cars in the parking lot, just like over at Microsoft on the other side of the bay, right?
Yeah, I remember.
There's one car in the parking lot. That's it.
Yeah, we've had that discussion, off air before, where you were like, "Yeah, I'm going down there, and there's like 3 cars in both of the parking lots combined. There's just nobody working.
Nobody.
They're all
There's
working
zero.
remote."
Yeah, and this is on a Monday, so I had to go down there on a Monday, and then you go to the apartment complex because my wife works for this company that owns all these complexes. Some of and they're very upscale. A lot of them are, and none of the cars run. And it's just a strange thing. None of the cars run. All those people have all their laptops, right? Because they Uber, they get their Grubhubs. They, you know what I mean? Everything is like, why would I need a car? I just get my groceries online.
That's it.
Very
I didn't see that
convenient.
here in Ohio. Like my apartment complex here, where I park, there's probably like 10 cars that never move.
Yeah, we have them too where we live. They work for Google or other companies that support Google or Apple.
Yeah.
Even though we're not close, like we're still, hour and a half away from Apple and Google. Anyway, so yeah, that is that. I think anything else in the news, Mayo, you saw?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
I'm just gonna look and see.
Yeah,
Do we have anything else? Games. What do we got here over here on the gamer spot? Project Cars 3 is out. I don't know if we get that.
It didn't look that good, and it's getting mixed reviews on Steam right now, so we'll see. Project Cars is a really fun game in VR. If you have an Oculus, that game is really, really fun in VR. I don't know about Project Cars 3. It says VR support, so I'm sure it does, but I don't know how good it is in the VR. But the game, to me, what video I've seen, like I tried watching some streams, and I don't know what kind of resolution these guys are playing at, or what kind of graphic settings they're running on. You can have a variety on the PC, but these guys' stream isn't like the game didn't look that great. I expect the last Project Cars looked really good, and I expected this one to look really, really good. And to me, I just kind of like, it looks like the last one. So again, but it could be their settings. So.
What about Crusader Kings 3? That just came out. No, that comes out tomorrow, actually. September 1st. Crusader Kings 3. So there's another new game coming out. Let's see. Marvel Avengers, when does that launch?
The beginning of September here.
September 4th. Yeah. So I think we are, talked to Ryan, I think we're getting Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I haven't seen any reviews for it. Where are the reviews for those? Maybe those already came out. I'm going to check. Not that it makes a difference. I'm going to play it. But, Marvel Avengers, Early Access, Day 1 patch and more. So, yeah, we'll definitely learn more about Marvel Avengers. I don't know if I'm picking that up or not. I don't know.
I was going to play, they have a free beta test. They did have a free test on Steam. And I downloaded it and I went to play it, and I really wasn't like I can't remember if it was late one night. I went to go play it and I downloaded it, launched it, and they wanted me to register it and link it to one of my accounts, and I just closed it. I'm like, I'm not messing with it right now. Trying to remember what account I had to link it to or anything, and I was just like,
Yeah,
yeah, I ain't gonna mess with this right now, and it wouldn't let me continue on with
that's
the
weird.
beta until I registered it. So I'm like, I'm not doing this. I was buy the game when it comes out, or at least hear what is being said about it, and then maybe buy it. But
I think I don't think it asked me to do any of that stuff. Maybe, yeah, maybe what is it? Square Enix? Who is doing that? Who's
I think it was Square Enix.
yeah. I don't think it asked me to link any accounts, but it just let me
Maybe
play it.
you already had something linked also. You could have linked it with your Xbox with a different game, and
No,
then it was
so
already linked.
what? No, I played this. Oh my! I swear I played this on Steam. Pretty sure that's the beta I downloaded. I don't think I played it on Xbox. Who knows? Maybe I did. I don't remember. Moving on. All right, what do we have for the console quarter? Folks, we've got... I better change the dates on these. So I still have for August. It is still August technically. So for the PlayStation Plus, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. That is now on Steam, I saw. That came out about a week ago. So that was just a very limited time that was on PlayStation. But yeah, you can now buy that on Steam, I believe. And Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Campaign Remastered. So I think even in the beginning week of September, you can still download those games on your PlayStation.
Good games to grab while you can. It's some
Yeah.
good games.
So
That's
overall,
I did dabble a little bit in Fallout. Have you played that yet, Gunny?
no, I don't even know if I even bothered to download it. I
I
claimed
bought
it.
it.
Oh, well,
I
it
bought
did
it on
automatically
Steam.
download. Never mind, it does.
It's,
Oh, and
it's
Johnny and
okay.
Dalton, them, they did invite me Sunday, but no, I just stayed here on Xbox and waited for them to come over here.
I think we could have fun probably if we played in a group. Just kind of sitting back playing by myself, it's okay. But playing with Jonathan D. Hall over there and maybe like News Machine, and Andrew and them, might be a good time. Get a party of like three or
Yeah.
four people together.
I might just sell the stinking VR and bring the PlayStation here in the living room or in the bedroom because, after you spend all day at the lake and then you come home, you're like, I don't want to jump back between room and room. Stay in one spot. I gotta start making use of that PlayStation. But moving over to the Xbox One, Games for Gold. This month you can claim, or the beginning of the month of September, Tom Clancy's The Division. So that is The Division 1.
Yeah. If you've never played that series, that'd be a good time to pick it up and play it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's not a whole lot different from the new one, in all honesty. I mean, it's a different environment, but the game plays the same.
it does. Yep. Yeah, I say, yeah, definitely get this one. There's a lot to it. They've always added more to it. Matter of fact, I did play, before we started recording, I did jump into The Division 2. Just kind of check it out and just go shoot some goons. That was my whole point. I was trying to get to some new areas, and it was just complicated. Like, okay, there's new side missions. Okay, I haven't played it in a while. How do I get there? Okay, at the base headquarters, go to the helicopter, and it'll take you there. I don't know, it just doesn't. So I'm like, I was just being impatient with it. So wherever it did take me, I was like, okay, fine. Let me just go shoot bad people. That's all I want to do. Even though I bought more DLC on Xbox, I did want to get in to play some mouse and keyboard. So just a short time in there. Check out new weapons and yeah. So yeah, Division 1 on Xbox One and your Xbox compatible game, D-Blob 2. I might have played this back in the day. The D-Blob. I think I played the first one. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. Definitely for a younger audience. Moving on to Game Pass for Xbox. We have the first one is called Tell Me Why.
Yeah, I've been hearing good about this. Like I said,
This is
I'm gonna try and
episodic.
play that maybe tomorrow.
I'm not gonna even bother with this one. I know it's episodic. It's that French company that made this, and I remember I did see this at some of the E3 events.
Yeah, is it Don't Nod? Is that the
E,
studio?
it might be those guys. Did they do?
Life is Strange.
Yes, that's it. yeah.
Whoever
So
made Life is Strange and made this.
okay, yeah. So the same people. Tell me why. And I think there's a couple episodes on there they might have put on there on Game Pass. And your second one is called Wasteland 3. So that is on the PC and the Xbox. I believe all these games I just mentioned are on both the console and the PC. And the new Super Lucky's Tale. I never played the first Lucky's Tale, and I don't know. I think I downloaded this one. I might play it. Definitely.
That's kind of a funny title because Lucky's Tale is actually owned by Facebook and Oculus. It's a VR game. And then
okay,
they partnered with Microsoft and they made Super Lucky Tale. And now this new one is called New Super Lucky Tale. So this is the third one.
Yeah. Okay.
The VR version was pretty fun, actually.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. I think Ryan played it. I couldn't tell you if it's any good or not. So your gold free play days, I did not see any of those. I think I won't see those until tomorrow. I don't know. I didn't see any earlier. Those are just the games you can take and download, play the heck out of them. Almost like a Game Pass thing, but you get them for a week. Moving over to... I got some things jumbled over here. We have Epic. We got two free great games on the Epic Store. We have, first one is called Hitman. So this is the one from 2016. A lot of content there. Great story. Go get the first Hitman 2016. And the second one, Shadowrun, the Shadowrun Collection. So the Shadowrun Collection is a unique cyberpunk meets fantasy world of Shadowrun that has gained a huge cult following since its creation nearly 25 years ago. Go get that. I believe what it does is it downloads 3 games.
I think so.
Yep. So I downloaded the third one. Haven't played it yet, but I have it downloaded. Plan on playing that. And Steam has a free game. I noticed they've been doing this a lot now. It's called Dark Fracture: The Prologue. So they've been doing a lot of prologues. So why don't they just call them demos?
Right.
I don't know. It pretty much is, right? Like the last game I had mentioned the last 2 weeks in a row, the prologue was pretty much just, hey, check out this demo for the game we've got. It's coming out soon, but check it out. It's a prologue. Yeah. It's just interesting wording. That's all it is. You can go claim that. But I think that's where we're at the end of the show. We have a community question. We do this last. Let's do this last community question. I know, oh my gosh, I know that Jonathan had asked last week. Let me just double check here because I don't think we put one on Facebook. But it was, what platform exclusive character in the Marvel Universe would you choose to be on Xbox and or the PC in Marvel Avengers? And I know Nipron had put Fat Thor. That was from the latest Avengers movie. That'd be a good one.
Commander Nips, he says he mentioned on GF and G, but he would go big and get all the X-Men.
Yeah, I was gonna put definitely put some of the X-Men on there for sure. Normie. Oh, she says so many to choose from. I would pick Hawkeye, the Hawk guy, but I can't aim worth the link. So my next would be Captain America. Because he can take a punch and give a bigger one back. So it would make a better gameplay. There. Yeah. Captain America, that would be a good one to just say it's exclusive to Xbox.
To the Xbox only.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What about somebody like, I'm not sure who all is in this Avengers game. What about somebody like Vision or Scarlet Witch? I don't know if I've seen them guys in that. So you could add one of those characters in there.
Yeah, for sure. Hey,
or was it Quicksilver? I think he died in one of them. I don't remember. I'm just...
Silver Surfer? I don't know.
No,
I don't know all of them.
them.
Hey, what about Spider-Man?
Yeah, well, Sony can have Spider-Man. It's okay.
Keep your Spider-Man, Sony. Keep it. Keep him. It's fine. I was thinking, I don't know. I mean, I just go Iron Man. Fuck it. But then there's Iron Man VR.
Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me if, like, just before the game came out, Sony's like, "Hey, we're taking Iron Man 2, and you can't have him." So, yeah. But we've got a question. Let's just ask this one for next week, Mayo. If video games were a sport, what one would you be considered a pro at? Dead Cells.
That's right.
I already answered it for you. For me, it'd probably be, I don't know. What would it be? I don't know. We'll find out next week, folks. So that is your question of the week. If you were an esports person, what game are you a pro at? Other than that, Mayo, I think we're at the end of the show. This is it. It's been good.
Yeah. Stealing the show, kicking Jesus out again.
Bye, Jesus. Go find him. Go find that Jesus. Walks a lot on everything. On Steam. On Uplay. On the Blizzard app where he's playing that Call of Duty. What did he want us to mention? I got my phone here. He wanted us to say that if he was a pro at video games, he'd be a pro at... What would he be a pro at? It wouldn't be Call of Duty. Oh, he got some... My kid's over here yelling. I got to close this door. He's got some platinum guns. And he's got he's level 55 in the battle pass. That's why he didn't want to come on the show. He's too busy with Call of Duty.
He was like, I got to play Call of Duty, guys. I can't make it. Oh. No.
Oh, and he says that he would be basically sports, so he'd be a pro in Animal Crossing. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He was working on that for a while. Normally,
But go find me. Go find me, GunnyChief. One word, on Xbox, on the Uplay Store, where I play a little bit of The Division, too. And over on Steam. And over on that Sony PlayStation, I am HGP_Gunny. Twitter, GunnyChief. Where do we find you, Mayo?
Yeah, you're going to find me pretty much everywhere as the Mayo01. And then you can find me on Discord as the Mayo. I remember hearing, I can't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Jesus was picking on us, saying, we don't have our same name on every platform,
right.
Unlike him, who got lucky and got his own, on Sony. But I'll have to work on that and see. Most of it's all the Mayo01, so it's pretty much there. So you'll find me there. Find me on Discord. That's the easiest way to do it. Or find me in the Facebook group. You'll see the little Mayo jar beside my my logo.
The real Mayo. All right, guys. What does Gidget say, Mayo?
Peace out.
Brussels sprouts. Catch us on the next show, the Horrible Gamers Podcast. Thank you all for listening. Talk to you next time. Bye.
See ya.